Our Suburban Projects, number 81. "3 Days of the Crow." My first of numerous stopovers within mental hospital misery occasioned a police-escorted, handcuffed drive from Reseda to Olive View in Sylmar for evaluation during a 72-hour hold. After transport from law to therapy, suicidal ideation agreed mutually. As such, consensus yielded liberties, so my 5150 status detained strap-free. Others relented far less docile. There flailed one gal who arrived walloped by some injected chemical concoction, screeching what Satan thought doing to her. A starry southerner, she seizure drawled. One of the orderlies lighted cigarettes, only stipulating that patients had to ask nicely for their lung cancer. This orderly, appearing a couple of generations my senior, kept mentioning his pool party invitation to me. Professionally unorthodox, I pegged him as a pinky, even less a lisp. Enunciate, ye mad readers. Of bizarre aside, a monstrous crow outside the only window kept bouncing against the glass that held his reflection. Like a stolen joke, everyone there and each new arrival broke stress with a similar remark about the bird wanting access for treatment. The drop-down sorrow for me came via meds, mandatory, against my urgent protest. The AA mantra about not taking anything affecting one from the neck up held both unrealistic and asinine macho currency with me at the time. Let them eat cake. Through melodramatic sobs, I analogized my crestfallen nuthouse toadyism to Socrates' more noble plight before swigging down their tranquilizer. While that nuisance orderly offered to console me with a smoke, the Stelazine waltzed through me like an elixir. My system reformed the drug's good intentions later, but a great vacation savored a few weeks' reprieve. During the second 24, a number of doctors came to visit my predicament. For county services, I must admit having been impressed. While peering into my pupil tunnels, they asked what for them amounted routine intrusions, like, hear any voices? See any colors? I tried to wiggle the chatter into a Plato Society symposium about how and why I had just experienced the loss of the Cartesian prayer god of free will, future implications for brain spaghetti management, and which books to approach or avoid hereafter. Like typical interrogatory, they asked rather than answered. I must have eaten a few times by then, yet failing recollection, meals did appear safe to ingest, like sampling suspicion plasma for an unknown king to humor nutritional tedium. My third day evened off unremarkable, smoking as little as possible and avoiding most conversations with more flagrant human hazards. Rookie stigma shock always initiates bewildered denial through false superiority, impulsively dismissing others like a twitch. Noting recognition prejudice as such, a new babe arrived, name-dropping Hollywood insiders who picked her for an upcoming part. As the part did not involve psych research, her myth imploded before Med's rescue arrived. The autographs justifiably called off. Later, the orderlies warned one another that Tug approached on his way. A recycler by reputation, we excitedly awaited a gang tackle or biting incident. He arrived strapped to a gurney which wheeled in and parked, prepackaged as subcontract. Tug lay ceiling staring for what seemed a tense half hour. He then turned his head my way and, speaking his first words, said in unperturbed tones, "The way I look at it, it's all learning experience." Throughout years to follow, I have never satisfied from a more poignant therapeutic moment than that. Every swamp has a silted lining.